Welcome to the chosen ones. When the truth eventually enters the room, every falsehood begins sweating. The chosen ones. This is precisely what occurred to those who attempted to bury your name. They conducted a thorough investigation, interrogating friends, relatives, colleagues, neighbors, and even those who didn't know your birth date. They hoped that someone, anybody, would give them a cause to justify their envy. Instead of gathering evidence against you, they inadvertently gathered positive feedback, as if they were conducting a poll for employee of the universe. Everyone they asked stated the same thing. You were the finest. And now these same folks are sitting there, looking puzzled, ashamed, and spiritually dizzy, as if someone unplugged their plan in the middle and forgot the script. Here's a reality that makes their position extra funnier. According to studies, when individuals lie about someone, their brain gets more worried when the reality around them contradicts the tale they rehearsed. This means your detractors aren't merely humiliated. They're now experiencing neurological malfunctions. Their thoughts are glitching like a cheap radio attempting to pick up a signal amid a rainstorm. Because this isn't what they expected. Your character had previously spread. Your energy was already speaking for you. Your worth had already been shown in areas where their envy could not reach. So when they went looking for defects, people gave them accolades instead. When they looked for the real you, they found the real them. Bitter, disoriented, and vastly outnumbered. The funniest part, they went into such discussions with the assurance of someone anticipating applause, only to leave with the emotional state of a melting ice cream cone. This is the point in the tale when their falsehoods break beneath the weight of your truth, openly, brutally, and artistically. Now sit back, selected ones, for what occurs next will make everything they attempted to ruin serve as proof of who you've always been. Consistent, respected, and memorable. Let's get to it. Number 1, they attempted to utilize public opinion as a weapon, but it became your proof. Instead, they really believed they had a plan. They were persuaded that if they uttered the correct falsehoods to enough people, it would produce a tsunami powerful enough to drown your name. They expected people to immediately believe their version of you, as if they were looking for a cause to distrust you. In their views, public opinion was the most potent weapon they could employ against you. However, they made an important error in their calculations. People had already had their own experiences with you, and they did not fit the narrative being promoted. So, when they went about attempting to expose you, the persons they questioned did not respond suspiciously. They responded with bewilderment. They recalled your constancy, how you handled stress, how you treated people, and how you conducted yourself without seeking attention or drama. People's responses were based on these recollections, not the venom that your detractors want to spread. And every praise, courteous comment, and testament to your character was another blow to their story. Their strategy failed because it was based on the assumption that no one would say anything nice about you. Instead, they learned you had acquired a silent respect that went well beyond their chatter. People commented on how you walk differently, how you mind your business, how you avoid foolishness, and how you exude a peacefulness that makes people feel protected. These realities were instilled in people's thoughts long before anybody sought to tarnish your reputation. The true shock for them was how rapidly the tables flipped. They sought validation for their animosity, but all they received was affirmation of your grandeur. And while they compiled these replies, each felt like a personal failure. They recognized that the audience they were attempting to acquire was not on their side, not because they scared them, but because they actually admired you. That's the bit that hurt the most. Their effort to ruin you became a public exhibition of your reputation without you saying anything. The truth resolved the matter. The public's view did not sway toward negative. It leaned toward the version of you that people were already familiar with. And the more they asked around, the more dumb they seemed, since the evidence they attempted to weaponize ended up being proof of who you really are. Number 2, they had no idea you had a reputation created in rooms. Their falsehoods could never get in. The issue with those who attempted to trash your name was that they believed everyone thought on their level. They believed their animosity was global, as if the whole world was silently ready to join them the minute they chose to hurl dirt on you. They didn't understand your name had already spread to locations they didn't have access to. Your persona had piqued their attention long before their envy turned into complaints. Your reputation was not formed by rumor. It was fashioned by years of constancy, humility, and the quiet manner you arrived. For humans, respectful rooms are filled with people who judge based on actions rather than feelings. These are the folks who watch before speaking, who prioritize acts over accusations, and who focus on patterns rather than outbursts. And the reality is, your pattern has always been consistent. Your attackers had no idea that the same individuals they contacted had seen you negotiate life with maturity. They are incapable of faking. So when they carried their life into those higher realms, they were astounded by the reactions they got. They anticipated nods of agreement, but instead were faced with those who vigorously supported you. People who had nothing to gain by praising you nevertheless spoke well of you. People that seldom communicate with you have something decent to say. That's when your detractors recognized your impact was not based on popularity. It was based on trust. They misjudged the scope of your character. They had no idea that even when you were not around, some people spoke favorably of you. Not because you are faultless, but because your soul makes an imprint. There are many who appreciate your discipline, resilience, self-control, and resistance to be drawn into foolishness. These are the rooms they were never qualified to access. So, while they were attempting to pull your name down, they inadvertently revealed the truth. Your reputation was safeguarded by unwavering voices, and their efforts only served to humble them. They cannot reach your level of credibility. Number 3, they overlooked that the individuals they attempted to influence had their own perspectives, memories, and experiences with you. One of your detractors' major errors was presuming that everyone would accept whatever tale they attempted to peddle. They approached individuals as if they were empty vessels waiting to be filled with their bitterness. What they didn't realize was that people already knew you. They had engaged with you, noticed how you conducted yourself, dealt with challenging circumstances, and paid attention to how you spoke with others. These memories didn't just vanish because someone looking for affirmation came up with a story. People remember how others make them feel. They remember when you treated them with respect, were not petty, avoided unneeded drama, and did the right thing even when no one was looking. These first-hand accounts are more credible than any rumors. So, when your attackers attempted to persuade others, they were speaking with people who had their own archive of you, which did not match the negative being portrayed. And here is where your detractors were revealed. Every time they said anything negative about you, folks silently contrasted the falsehood to the reality they'd already seen. They believed they were being persuading, but all they revealed was their own insecurity. Instead of instilling doubt in you, they produced uncertainty in themselves. People started to notice the angry tone and exaggeration in their statements. Their body language conveyed stress. The more they talked, it became clear that their perception of you was based on envy rather than fact. They failed to see that relationships, even basic ones, are based on patterns, and your pattern has never been irresponsible, disrespectful, or unstable. Your regularity made people resistant to manipulation. They couldn't be persuaded to dislike someone who hadn't given them any cause to. That's why your adversaries were upset and ashamed. They attempted to modify people's memories, unaware that they were based on personal accounts. In the end, they weren't battling for your reputation. They were battling what everyone already knew. Number 4, when they asked others about you, they unintentionally revealed how fascinated they are. They believed they were being subtle. They felt their concerned tone, fake composure, and false interest made them seem rational. But the more they questioned individuals about you, the more they exposed something they never intended for anybody to see. They are passionately captivated with you. Their endeavor to probe you turned into an inquiry of their own actions. People took it up right away. Every time your name came up, their eyes lighted up a bit too quickly. Their voice became tighter, and their questioning became more in-depth. For someone who claims to not care about you, their enthusiasm did not match their words. They said they were only attempting to understand you, but their intensity conveyed a very different narrative. Even those who didn't fully understand the issue could see something was wrong. The more they inquired, the more people realized that this wasn't typical interest. It was obsession. It was the kind of preoccupation that reveals emotional involvement, underlying jealousy and unresolved bitterness. Their passion grew so clear that people stopped looking at you and began examining them. Suddenly, you were not the topic of their talk. They didn't grasp this. When someone tries too hard to bring someone else down, it reveals more about the person doing the tugging. People started to doubt their motivations. They started to question why your life was so important to them. They started to see cracks in their composure. The more they chatted, the more they revealed a painful fact. You live in their minds for free, and you're never asked for a room. Their inquiries made no one suspicious of you. They just raised suspicions about why people cared so much. Their fixation became a joke. Their jealousy became the plot, and their animosity served as proof in an attempt to make you seem suspicious. They verified what everyone had quietly assumed. They're competing against someone who's not even playing the same game. They revealed their passion without being forced to, and now they can't take it back. Number 5. Their worst dread came true. People they trusted quietly adore you. They really felt that everyone around them secretly shared their anger. In their views, their groups shared the same hatred, jealousy, and negative attitudes. They sought to project onto you. They were convinced that once they mentioned your name, their so-called fans would quickly join in, confirm their sentiments, and assist bring you down. They didn't anticipate the precise opposite. When they began interrogating their friends, family, and close connections about you, the replies did not match the hatred they expected to hear. Rather of complaining, they received congratulations. Rather of criticism, they heard admiration. Instead of confirmation, they got appreciation, and the shocked expressions on their faces told it all. It wasn't just that people liked you. It was the way they talked about you, quietly, firmly, and without hesitation. That amount of honesty disturbed them more than anything else could. Some folks mentioned your compassion. Others complimented your work ethic. Some people liked your discipline or the way you handled your business. Some have even noted that you carry yourself with an uncommon level of elegance and power. Hearing this made them uncomfortable since it forced them to confront a reality they had never anticipated for the individuals they trusted. Don't see you through the same twisted lens as others do. Their circle didn't secretly despise you. They were quietly respecting you. This is when their world started to crumble. They understood their jealousy was not shared. They discovered that the negativity they carried wasn't infectious. They found that the animosity they intended to instill in others did not spread. The toughest aspect for them was accepting that even their closest pals did not perceive you as an issue. They perceived them as the ones exaggerating. It shocked them because it revealed their vulnerability. It showed that the tales people told themselves about you were not universal realities, but rather personal grudges. Their circle did not reflect their envy. It mirrored your personality. And when they heard how favorably others talked of you, it was evident that their worst nightmare had come true. The individuals closest to them have higher expectations of you than they had previously imagined. Number 6, their strategy failed because people value what you endured, not what they made up. They spent time developing falsehoods, certain that a few dramatic tales may change the course of your life. They felt that their gossip, half-truths, and exaggerations would overshadow what you had really gone through. They expected that others would be captivated by their words and overlook the genuine labor, hardships, and perseverance that distinguished you. They didn't comprehend that people value consistency, endurance, and history. They can tell when someone has actually gone through adversity and emerged stronger. Every contact, choice, and challenge you faced had an impact on others who observed it. Your strength was not performative. It was calm, measured, and relentless. People noted how you handled setbacks without seeking approval, how you persevered while others failed. How did you rebuild when circumstances attempted to bring you down? Every modest win, every quiet perseverance, every time you remained faithful under pressure, it formed part of a record that no one could falsify. When your adversaries attempted to replace that record with their own tales, the contrast was stark. Their falsehoods didn't just fail. They expressed their despair. People could tell the difference between words that existed and those that were created. Every effort to reduce your survival narrative failed because your reality had depth, weight, and credibility that could not be removed. The sweat, scars, patience, and determination that they attempted to remove were also the things that deserved respect. People were unimpressed with what was claimed. They were pleased with what had been proved. In the end, their strategy verified the truth. People value authenticity above artifice. They appreciate someone who has overcome obstacles, suffered suffering, and rebuilt themselves. Lies and exaggerations crumble in the face of real-life experience. And that is precisely what occurred here. The more they attempted to dominate the story, it became clear that you had already established a reputation that their tales could not match. The reality of your survival eclipsed the pretense of their aims, leaving them vulnerable and useless. Number 7. They sought validation. Instead, they received a mirror reflecting their insecurities. They went into it believing they were in charge. They anticipated that by interrogating others, they would discover supporters who would affirm their negative beliefs, applaud their exposure to you, and affirm their sense of superiority. The exact reverse occurred, however. Every individual they contacted became an unsuspecting mirror, reflecting not their tale about you, but their own inner insecurities. Instead of adding legitimacy to their charges, they were forced to face the stark contrast between their hatred and the respect you had gained. Every praise is about you. Every anecdote of your honesty, every mention of your patience and perseverance pointed clearly to the shortcomings in their own method. They expected approval, but the cosmos delivered self-awareness, whether they were ready or not. Their jealousy became louder than their words. People could see, feel, and identify it in even the tiniest actions. The more they attempted to promote an anti-you narrative, the clearer it became that their struggle was not with you. It was with themselves. Their irritation, preoccupation, and desire to persuade others simply revealed a stark emptiness inside them. They were unprepared for the consequences of their own acts. Their attempt to undercut you ended up showing an imbalance in their character. Every falsehood they weaved, every innuendo they planted, only brought them clarity. Their vulnerabilities, buried under layers of rage and hatred, formed the narrative. Everybody could see. Finally, they got precisely what they deserved. There is no approval or acclaim, just a stark mirror of their own inadequacies and efforts to degrade. You did not just fail. They transformed into a public display of who they really are. And the irony is evident. While they were focusing on you, they were exposing themselves. The mirror does not lie, nor did the emotions of those who saw the reality. They forgot number 8. You do not have to defend a name that protects itself. They thought that in order to manage your narrative, you had to fight back. They believed that quiet indicated weakness, that constraint implied fragility, and that a lack of reaction constituted an invitation to assault. What they didn't comprehend is that your reputation has always functioned on a separate level, one that does not need your continual presence to demonstrate its worth. Your name holds power because it is based on genuine activities, integrity, and influence. It exists regardless of the noise made by those attempting to bring it down. They went about looking for proof, but what they discovered didn't validate their jealousy. It was evidence of your effect. Every story they shared about you, every praise, every recognition of your constancy, support, and perseverance shouted louder than any counter-narrative they could devise. They believed the reputation was weak, but they forgot that a name founded on truth does not crumble under pressure. It survives. You did not need to comment, explain, or defend yourself since your legacy was already determined. The ones who genuinely mattered had already seen your personality personally. They had seen your discipline, honesty, strength, and unwavering liberty. Long before your adversaries felt they had a chance to change the narrative, your actions had already spoken for themselves. Each individual they questioned ended up confirming what had been silently known for years. Your credibility is unshakable. The irony is glaring. While your opponents tried relentlessly to discredit you, they were simply highlighting the breadth and longevity of your reputation. Their effort at destruction became a spotlight, revealing how far your name had spread and how deeply it had resonated. You did not need to interfere. Your legacy acted on your behalf. Every praise, testimonial, and recognition of your character served as a subtle rebuke to their plots. In their attempt to destroy you, They emphasized what they couldn't touch. You have acquired respect, adoration, and influence. Your reputation does not need to be defended since it has always been self-sustaining, existing in the hearts and minds of people who recognize true worth when they see it. Number 9. The story failed because it did not fit the information people already knew about you. They miscalculated how human perception really works. People don't just absorb tales. They match the story to what they have already seen or heard. An experiment. Instead, your adversaries believe that a spectacular untruth would overwhelm years of truth. But reality does not bend that readily. People maintain mental files. They monitor conduct over time, even if they don't say anything out loud. When someone's allegations do not fit the previously stored facts, the mind instinctively rejects the new knowledge. Your data have always been consistent. People have seen you show up when necessary. When tensions mounted, remain grounded and conduct yourself with a level of calmness that does not need an audience. They've seen you manage disputes without causing chaos, without seeking sympathy or success, and without being arrogant. This is the pattern they understand. This is the proof they have seen personally. So when your adversary stepped in with claims that contradicted what people already knew, the disconnect was instant. Meanwhile, the data your adversaries possessed spoke volumes, although not in their favor. Their tone, disdain, and sudden fixation with portraying you in a certain way. Everything about their actions exposed their true motivations. Their allegations were inconsistent with people's recollections of you. They were totally consistent with the emotional instability they'd shown for years. Their story collapsed due to inconsistencies, before it ever had the opportunity to stand. Humans tend to believe patterns over assertions. When someone behaves consistently over time, their track record becomes the truth. People rely on your record of dependability. There's conveyed bitterness. Your credibility grew softly and silently. Their charges were hasty and motivated by insecurity. That mismatch allowed the truth to come through without effort. People could see the mismatch regardless of how much they attempted to distort the tale. And the mismatch exposed them right away. Their story did not fail because it lacked information. It failed because it did not fit with reality. When the truth and the lie are presented side by side, people invariably choose the version that makes sense. They selected you. They rejected them. Number 10, they did not anticipate anyone to have the confidence to speak well of you in front of them. They believed that fear was greater than honesty. That intimidation would quiet anybody who attempted to defend you. They felt that when your name was mentioned, others would pause or find a safe method to avoid contradicting them. They thought that their very presence would sway people's perceptions, make them doubt themselves, and provide credence to whatever bad stories they attempted to spread. What they didn't realize was that your impact has already inspired bravery in people around you. When challenged, no one stumbled or mumbled. They talked plainly, boldly, and without hesitation about your true identity. They clearly communicated your capabilities, consistency, and effect. Each thing they spoke chipped away at the false narrative your adversaries attempted to construct, exposing not just the truth about you, but also the flaws in those who attempted to undermine it. It was a terrible awakening for them. They knew that their efforts to exert control were futile in light of the respect and esteem you had acquired. Their intimidating methods did not calm the crowd. They emphasized the difference between your reputation and their jealousy. Every compliment provided in their presence served as a spotlight on your achievements and character, emphasizing how worthless their attempts had been. The irony is evident. In their attempt to stifle praise, they wound up calling attention to it. In an attempt to damage your credibility, they ended up strengthening it. The more they attempted to distort, the more individuals publicly verified what they had previously known privately. You are someone whose presence compels respect, whose deeds speak louder than words, and whose influence is unaffected by fear or intimidation. Anyone who strives to bring your reputation down unintentionally demonstrates the power of your legacy in their efforts to undermine you. They showed how brilliantly you shined. Their failure became evident because the truth is tenacious. Admiration is audacious, and bravery, once inspired, is unbreakable. Their effort to isolate you failed. They are now standing alone. They believed they were arranging a social exile for you, a quiet little campaign in which they would take people aside, speak their poison, and gradually turn the room against you. They believed it would be a clean sweep. People would gradually distance themselves from you, shun you, question you, and distrust you. They imagined seeing you stand alone as they reveled in the appearance of authority. However, they were not expecting this twist. People were not assessing you. They were assessing them. Every murmur revealed their animosity. Each narrative revealed their passion. Every attempt to separate you demonstrated how profoundly scared they were by your presence, progress, and the simple respect you commanded. They turned people away from themselves, not from you. Humans have a natural tendency to avoid drama. They avoid folks who always have bad things to say. They grow wary of those who seem to be out to undermine someone else's reputation, since they are the same people who finally betray everyone. People may not always express it out, but they can identify desperation when they see it. And your adversaries radiated despair. Meanwhile, your genuineness accomplished the reverse. It attracted people into your constancy, your track record, and quiet strength. They became anchors. They recalled how you made them feel. They recalled your honesty, friendliness, and dependability. You did not need to persuade anybody about who you are. Your life has already done the job. So, while they were arranging your seclusion, life was revealing theirs. They gradually became the guy nobody trusted. Nobody confided. Nobody wanted to mingle with their bitterness. Thus, their circle shrank. Their jealousy destroyed their support system. Their falsehoods created a vacuum around them, but not around you. And now, the reality is obvious. You are surrounded with respect. They are surrounded by the repercussions of their own actions. Your name kept opening doors because it had value. Their conduct slammed doors shut because it contained corruption. I'm trying to leave you alone. They showed the world who really deserved to stand alone. And it was not you. A number. They sought evidence you were a phony. They obtained evidence. You were a godsend. They embarked on a quest, thinking they had discovered something sensational about you. In their minds, they only needed one person. Only one person would answer. Yes, that is true about them. Alternatively, I had a nagging suspicion. They were eager for confirmation and willing to grab any piece of negativity that may justify their animosity. However, when they probed further, the reverse occurred. People did more than just disagree with that story. They ended it with anecdotes of how you transformed their life for the better. They anticipated voices of skepticism. Instead, they received expressions of thanks. People mentioned how you supported them while they were suffering and treated them fairly when no one else did. How your presence made them feel secure, powerful, or visible. They heard about your guidance, which changed someone's whole path. They heard of instances in which you shown kindness without seeking attention. They were surprised when they learned about how you discreetly boosted individuals without publicizing anything. Every interaction became a reminder of how precious your spirit really is. It annoyed them because they were not ready to confront the reality. A falsehood cannot undo the impression you have made. They needed evidence that you were fake. However, when they dug further, they discovered that you had been spreading seeds of virtue for many years. And the seeds developed into proof. Evidence of your integrity, character, and concrete evidence. They couldn't change the facts. They couldn't change the evidence. They couldn't be silent. Instead of dirt, they discovered depth. Rather than weakness, they discovered knowledge. Rather than faults, they might exploit. They discovered individuals joyfully standing by your name. And then it struck them. Their falsehoods never worked since your life narrative has already been validated by innumerable individuals who know your actual nature. They started seeking for evidence that you were phony. Life gave them evidence. You were a privilege to make an impression, to erase, to be true, to distort and adore, and to be torn down. Number they expected others to match their intensity. However, individuals matched your legacy. They assumed the energy. They would spread their hatred, envy, and incessant comparisons.